It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
Let's move on to Chris's question. He says, what is the proper process for the financial order of operations? Here's what he's getting at. Do we go back when circumstances change? For example, does he go back to step 4 when we use the emergency savings? And then even on top of that, how do you keep moving forward when you have to go back? Because I think that that's kind of part of these 9 steps, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a part of the process. Life changes. Mm-hmm. And this is supposed to be something that's running beside your life. I mean, think about the fact that when I started my first business, for the previous years when I was making a great income, both of me and my wife were working, we were saving a large sum of that money. So we'd probably on paper look like we were in step 8 of the financial order of operations. And then I leave my job and my income gets gutted because it takes 3 years to build. Without a doubt, I'm living off of our emergency reserves while I'm building the company. You have to take a step back, reset, because realize a lot of the rules we cover are driven off of what's your income, because you're taking your gross income number. What are your actual expenses so that you can all build it in? That is without a doubt, this is a dynamic tool. This is not something that once you cross over it, oh, it's okay, I'm now in step 9, woohoo! We can pop the corks and feel like we've accomplished something. No, you have to pay attention to where you are in the process and how life has changed, because it's not uncommon. We have advisors who will take a step back to come join our operation because they know we are changing the world in a positive way. We're not selling products. We're actually giving great advice from a fiduciary standard. So when people take a step back to kind of take a lateral move or something else because they want to position themselves, and it's not just financial advisors, other people in other careers will do that. You will need to recalibrate where you fall into the financial order of operations.
And I think it's okay, right? Like we all, us financial mutants, we always want to be moving forward, progress. And the thought of moving backwards is so scary, so unnerving, so uncomfortable. It's okay. The way that we design the financial order of operations, it's this really unique, I want to say the word dichotomy. I don't know if that's right because I make up words again. It's a really unique combination of risk versus opportunity. Part of the financial order of operations is for risk management mitigation. That's like deductibles covered, that's like emergency reserves. But then part of it's opportunity, free money match, going out and maxing out tax-free. So you have to make sure if you lose your job or you dip into your emergency fund, you start getting that built back up because there is some risk that you have exposed yourself to that you don't want to be exposed to. It's okay that throughout the course of life, you go back and forth. You might work all the way through financial order and then come back. And then you might work all the way through the financial order and then come back. What you'll find is if you're doing it well, we see this time and time again, the amount of time it takes you to get back to the step that you were previously at generally shortens. If you're someone who's been hyper accumulating and you're building your 3 buckets and you got this big after-tax account over here, but then you have to dip in your emergency fund for some reason, it's usually pretty easy to build back up that emergency fund. And then you go back to maxing out the other accounts and you go back to your employer-sponsored retirement plan. It's not an incredibly difficult thing to do, but it's okay when it happens. We get so hard on ourselves. Money is not the goal. Reaching the pinnacle at step number 9 is not the goal. The goal is to figure out what it is in this life you're trying to accomplish. What is it that you want to do and when do you want to do it and how do you want to do it? And what's the best way that you can use your money to achieve that? And we just provide the FOO as a guardrail or a pathway to figure out how to best employ your money to get to whatever those goals are in your financial life.
Yeah, I mean, the abundance cycle, part of it is, and I love that you just said it's not about getting to a certain financial point, is because we found that a lot of abundance comes from just knowing, how do I own my time so I do things on my terms? I live how I want, I do what I want. And it's really, that is what you're working for. And sometimes to get to that long-term mindset, to the long-term goal, you might have to take some short-term setbacks. And that's why the financial order of operations will be dynamic. It's going to help you navigate all those life changes in a very positive way. And if you've reached a point of critical mass, but you still feel overwhelmed, That's why we always do talk about take the relationship to the next level, because you don't have to do this by yourself. I mean, we give you all the resources so you can, especially while you're building the building blocks. But I'm not, I've shared this so many times. For everybody who says, because we talk about how simple wealth building is, but it's not easy. And a lot of things can get sideways. And, and we give you the tools, complexities go find you. I don't care how simple you've tried to make your life. Once you reach a level of success, it gets complicated. And that's why we love what we do. And we know the job's never going away, because this is a great thing. It's an ever-growing economy with innovation, technology. There's going to be more opportunity, and we're going to continue to be here giving you content, but also building out the abundance cycle.